All right, good evening, everybody from Osaka. It is 10 o'clock p.m. On a Sunday night here, and we're sitting in Osaka, in Umeda, the north of the city, and we're going to have a little chat tonight with the guest here, MJ Klein. MJ coming from Taiwan.
How you guys doing?
He's here with his family. He's been here for the past week or so and visiting Osaka.
Oh, look, I got your notification.
There you go. Very good.
I'm going to turn the video off and just watch to see if we got comments on YouTube.
So we're just going to talk live streaming. I think MJ is going to do most of the talking probably,
I know about that.
And I'll interject sometimes. But and if you guys, hopefully if you're watching, you have any comments, please
I made a bunch of notes.
feel free and join in. The phone is very far away, so I cannot. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Hey, so hello.
Hello.
From the Philippines.
Hello, Lavis Vlog. Hello, Philippines. Hello, Don Marie. Good morning. Double JS. Hello. Good morning.
Yeah, that's.
I think it's morning for you.
Yeah. Double JS is J-Boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
J-Boy, how's it going? Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, it's a real privilege to be here with Dave. Can you guys hear us okay? We doing all right? We got the mic here on the table. It should be okay.
And we're blocking your face with the text. I wonder if that's okay. Is that okay?
No, that doesn't matter.
Okay.
Because it's not on the video, is it? You're not burning.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Video,
yeah,
so,
right. You're right.
I don't care what the preview looks like. So.
Okay.
Thing is, this live stream is something that I've always wanted to do because, you know, I've known you since Scope Day back in 2015, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And people don't really know, but behind the scenes, Dave and I, we talk at least once a week, many times usually during the week about just stuff, everything. But we often talk about the state of live streaming, like what would have happened if Periscope kept going, or what if YouTube did this or all this. And we have all these things, these comments, and experience. Like we're going to talk about haps, of all things, and then there's caffeine, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's what's that other one? Favorite. I don't even know what it is.
That was the latest one, yeah.
Favorited, yeah. It's like it's so crazy, but the whole business of live streaming has changed so much since it started really with Periscope. But what was your first introduction to Periscope? How did you find out about it?
I remember reading an article saying it was the #1 app and it on the App Store, and I remember Twitter had acquired it, so I just downloaded it, and I didn't even do anything with it. I didn't even use it. I just saw, okay, Periscope's #1 app. I'm going to try and download it, and then I just left it on my phone. And it wasn't. And that was like April, beginning of April or whatever. But I didn't actually do anything until 2 months later, or a month later maybe, that I started watching it and using it. So, yeah. How about you?
Well, for me, I was using Lightroom about that time. Adobe Lightroom for processing digital photography. And I had been following Terry White. He's one of the evangelists. I don't know if you know him. He's actually really he's a really good teacher.
Yeah.
And so I was following Terry on Twitch TV, which is what they were using as a vehicle, for
live
tutorials and stuff. But then one time I saw that Terry had repurposed somehow, but he was, I don't remember exactly, but he was using Periscope, and I was able to watch it. Hey, Nabul, how's it going? I was able to watch it, even though I didn't have it. I must have been watching him on the web. Okay. And he was watching the sunset go down, and he had worked with some other company to set up two phones. They had set up a bracket and had designed this, and they called it the Broadcaster, just for Terry White to use two phones. Yeah. And he kept saying, it's iOS only. It's not available on Android, because that's what I had, right? And I was really kind of upset, but I was like, this is so cool, man.
Yeah.
Because it was the instantaneous feedback
Yeah.
where he would say something to the audience, and you know how it is. Like you guys watching right now on YouTube, you can ask us a question, and we might not get it until we get home. It's just how it is, you know. So
Yeah.
but with Periscope is a matter of seconds.
Yeah, that's true.
Almost instantaneous. And so for me, my first introduction was Periscope, was watching Terry White use an app that I couldn't use because it wasn't available
On the
Android.
phone.
Yeah.
Oh, on Android. Yeah,
Android,
that's right.
yeah.
Right.
It was iOS only.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't until towards the end of the year, which became fortuitous because I was able to participate in that big event that brought everybody together.
Yeah.
So that was 2015.
Yeah. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean,
long time ago now.
yeah, I mean, as far as like friendships go and things like that, 10 years is nothing. But
No.
the technology part of it.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, for example, look at this tiny little mic, DJI. These things wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for vlogging and live streaming because there was no market for this.
No.
People were using lab mics and they were going down to body
The wire,
packs,
yeah,
or they
wired.
go
Everybody's
wired
wired.
back to a recorder or something. Yeah. But so you had been using Periscope. My sea turtle picture was pretty. Oh, Don. Oh, you talking about? Oh yeah, you're talking about my short. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, that was in Xiaoluqiu in Taiwan, off the southern coast. Yeah, I used my Insta360 X4.
I remember that. Yeah.
I took the fiberglass 3-meter selfie stick in the water so it wouldn't
Okay.
rust and stuff.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
Thank you, I appreciate it. So yeah, that's
Hello,
right.
DXUW. Hello.
Yeah, I'm from Taiwan, but I'm visiting Dave here in Osaka. So we're currently in Osaka. I'll be here till Wednesday, leaving on Wednesday. So you were using Periscope for like 4 or 5 months before Scope Day. We're going to talk about Scope Day just briefly because many of you may remember that. That was kind of an event. It was a good idea. And
Yeah.
It was an event that put a lot of places on the map. So, yeah. You're asking me the MJ Klein? Oh, jeez. Yeah. I have identity theft problems, so. But see, for me, right, I had only been using it for a couple months. I started using I had an ID that wasn't tied to my Twitter
Okay.
because I had logged out of Twitter in 2013.
Oh yeah, me too. I never touched it until Periscope.
Yeah. And so I logged back in. I realized that I should probably. So I did maybe 10 live streams on the old account, and then I re-upped it, so it was tied to Twitter. And I'll tell you how I, excuse me. I'll tell you how I got on the Scope Day list. I don't think I ever told you.
How? Yeah, I don't remember.
I read about Scope Day, and heard the chatter about it, and heard all the stuff from around the world. And I contacted the guy. I don't want to mention any names, but I contacted the guy who was in charge of this idea, right, of Scope Day. And I said, how come there's only one? Thanks, J-Boy. How come Taiwan's not on this list, man?
Yeah, right.
Taiwan's got to be on this list.
Yeah.
It turns out that the creator of Scope Day actually is Taiwanese.
That's right. It was, yeah.
So he recognized, we got to, but he didn't want to do it. He's not a live streamer. So I basically kind of shoehorned myself in, and then I did that big temple, the Yiming Temple, which I've taken you to, and I took you to the other temple, but we drove by that. I took John Ho there and many others, over the years. That's how I got into it.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I remember you were participating. We were communicating with each other, but I didn't know the origin.
What happened was,
and I remember he was of some sort of Chinese descent.
Yeah. What happened was I really wasn't in on much of the promotional stuff.
Okay.
Because I was late to the party, so he had already made like some images and things, and
yeah.
Even 10 years ago, it was harder to do that kind of image work than it is now. So like if somebody added, you could just fool around with it and even use AI. But anyway, so I wasn't even really on the list. I was officially in the show, but not on the, and I used a glide cam.
Yeah, I remember that.
Glide
The
cam.
two-hander one you had.
Yeah. And I did a shot that nobody had seen before, and I remember it went over really well. Where I was showing forward to something, and I twisted the glide cam and put the camera back around on me as I was walking. So, try to bring a little production quality too, but finally it was available, you know. But you remember how it was crippled for Android?
What was crippled?
Well, every time they brought out a new feature like Sketch.
Oh yeah, right.
Sketch.
They always were second, or just they never got it.
Yeah, right to the very end, we never got it. We never got Sketch.
Yeah.
All the people that were using drones or GoPros that you could connect to it on the iOS.
That's right.
Yeah, there was nothing, and so I missed out on a lot of stuff. And at that time, also people were getting the first round of Insta360 cameras, and they were getting.
Hey Larry.
Hey, how's it going? And they were getting, endorsements, cooperation.
Yeah. But I was doing that 360 endorsement. Yeah.
But they were only for iOS, man. Only had a light. Yeah, that was pretty interesting. So, but the reason we're talking about all this history is Dave and I have a couple of ideas, and we agree on some things and we disagree on other things. But this is something. I mean, this is kind of my idea. This particular discussion we're having, only because you and I have had this. We talked about this like over and over and over. I'm not going to go through all of this, but I started Taiwan Live TV and it went pretty well. But back then we had Catch, and Catch was amazing because Catch was this back end for YouTube, this back end for Periscope. It would save the broadcast because remember when Periscope first came out, it was 24 hours only.
Yeah, that was crazy.
The other thing I liked about Catch was you could embed it. There's an RSS feed, and you can embed it. And I actually bought software, and I bought domains like Taiwan Live TV and Asia Live TV. And I was planning on having a website with all these live streamers streams on these sites available as through Catch. And I made arrangements. You guys don't know any of this. I made arrangements with many of the most beloved scopers that you guys know in Asia. They were ready to do this, and I started doing it. And then they somehow there's this big politics, but they killed Catch off. And the thing is, nobody ever bought them and developed them, but it was fantastic. You could even arrange your broadcasts or other people's broadcasts into playlists and things. It was a phenomenal effort, and it really, in my opinion, hurt the community. And I firmly believe that Twitter should have bought Catch and utilized that technology. But they had no intention of doing it because they wanted to integrate it fully into Twitter.
Right, because there's no point.
Yeah, and 2025 later, it still ain't done.
No.
It's still not there. They don't have the API for... Dave, are you broadcasting on Twitter right now?
No.
Why?
Because it costs money to subscribe, and that's the main thing.
And the second thing is...
I can't save my broadcasts, they're gone.
And the third thing?
What else?
Can't see the comments.
Oh yeah, comments, right.
Yeah. That's a high revving engine. Yeah. So it's like anyway. Towards the end, though, I mean, I got some horrific. Like, I had a pedophile attack me on my stream because I had my daughter with me, and he was saying really dirty stuff. I reported him to Interpol. And he actually immediately, I copied him too. He's on Twitch. I mean on Twitter, and I CC'd him, and he tried to tell me that he was only 16 and all this stuff, and so he disappeared. Never heard from him again.
That would do it.
Twitter account was
that would do it.
Was gone, but then we remember in 2017. The thing is, don't get me wrong, guys. I have this reputation for hating Periscope. No. I hate what Periscope became because of bad stewardship. Because in my opinion, Twitter was a bad steward. See, it was Twitter's intention not to keep Periscope going, but to take the technology. Now, they didn't steal it, they bought it, but they were going to take the technology out of the app and kill off the standalone app and put it in the Twitter app, which in my opinion was dumb. But what do I know? I mean, the guy who bought it is a billionaire. I'm only a millionaire, so what can I tell you? But the point being, though, that I started experimenting with other platforms. And you remember one was Broadcast.
I do, yeah.
And you tried it too.
Yeah.
A lot of guys tried, like John Sabot and others. And the thing that was really cool about Broadcast was the recorded messages.
Yeah, that was a
very
cool feature,
unique. Yeah, because a viewer, could in their app press a button, and it would mute the speaker, that you're listening, and you could speak and you could ask a question. So it's kind of like getting a call.
And it was kind of like Periscope when they did theirs, right? They did the same thing. You could remember that?
Well,
audio?
No, I don't remember any audio on Periscope.
Yeah,
really.
Eventually they did add audio in the app.
Wow.
Yeah, you could join in like a call. You could join a broadcast and audio. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, we're just having a chat. Hey, thanks for coming in, Danny Times. Hello.
Yeah, welcome on Twitch. So anyway, it's Russian language mostly, but a lot of people don't know this, but I got really friendly with the people behind the scenes, with the programmers, and they actually created an endpoint just for me in Taiwan. A lot of people don't know that. They told me that I was the biggest and most well-known broadcaster, because what it was is the Russian language had just fallen off.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and I guess it came out maybe a year after Periscope, and it kind of went like this. And I found it, and started using it, and I introduced it to my pals, and I had my my followers using it. They downloaded it, and we're having a good old time doing rum and scope and my usual talk shows and stuff. It was funny, and trying to prank John Ho and that kind of stuff. But they had at the end of 2017, going into the year 2018, they invited me to Dubai. I got a message from one of the programmers and asked me for my email, and I got a message from I got an email from like the secretary of the CEO saying that he wanted to invite me to Dubai to be at their annual business meeting. He wanted to hear what I had to say about the app, which is great because I had like a presentation. I had a definite idea and a plan for them that I thought moving forward they could make money with.
Yeah.
I never got to do it. They canceled the meeting, pulled their financing, and we have seen this time and time again where these apps, they start out with a bang, they got a lot of investment money, and then the investors say, no, it's not working, and they pull it out and they're gone. And what's the number one app that you can think of that, for me, it's this one right here.
Yeah, Haps. Absolutely.
Haps. Yeah.
We're talking about live streaming. The past,
yes,
present, maybe future of live streaming.
Maybe future, yeah.
If we got time.
Yeah. Haps. That whole thing. See, in the intervening years, about 4 years ago, I started a website. It's actually a forum called Livestreaming.technology. And I wanted to help other live streamers, figure out how to do things and share techniques and stuff. And it didn't quite go down exactly the way, it wasn't quite as embraced by the community as I thought it would be.
We're going to talk about how things have changed. Yeah. Danny, and DXW, then years down the road, they faded. Yes, many of them.
Yeah.
Many of them did.
But it's because they didn't have a solid plan. Yeah. See, I addressed in my presentation to Broadcast. I'm going to tell you the short story is that a live streaming app needs to become part of the community in which the live streamers live. It has to be part of the lifeblood.
Hi, Coco.
Of the
How's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
I agree. Yeah.
How's it going? Haven't seen you for a while, Coco. Good to see you. Fist bump. Thank you. Yeah, I'm so glad to be here with the greatest live streamer in the world, ladies and gentlemen. Because, I mean, what a great way to sell something than with live streaming. And if you look at apps like Shopee and around the world, that's what they're doing. That's mostly, there's more shopping, you know, on live streaming than there is any other thing.
In Shopee, is it like people show their products? Like,
Yes.
is that how it works? I don't even know.
Yeah.
I know. I know when I was in Thailand, I would walking down the street, the markets, people would have the front of the stall. There'd be somebody manning that, and then behind it, somebody would be on TikTok selling their stuff, live streaming. So even there, but it was on TikTok. I don't think it might have been Shopee too. I don't even know. I don't. Yeah, and I know it was TikTok. Some of them though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, with Shopee, you know, they're usually brick and mortar stores.
Hi, Manuela.
And it's kind of funny. I mean, in some respects, it's kind of weird because these women are wearing like a sports bra and some shorts.
Yeah.
And they'll take their shirt off and try another shirt on. It's kind of weird. At first, they're like, "Whoa, what's going on?" But there's people on there. I mean, you see women, they're putting makeup on. They're going, see how this changes my complexion and see how, you know, my skin looks and all this stuff. Or they're doing their nails, or they're selling glasses or jewelry or anything. And there's one guy called Crazy Mike, and he just runs around with a phone. Somebody's following him. He's yelling it. It's like Crazy Eddie, right? But I mean, if that was part of the community, and he's like, can you imagine a car salesman, you know, or a car dealership having a sale and live streaming that, you know?
Yeah.
But the problem is that it never became, like with Periscope, it never became part of the community, and it was missing the back end, like catch, that would allow it to proliferate into the community.
Yeah.
Where it would be accessible to everybody.
Yeah.
I don't own the app. It doesn't matter. Scan the QR code. It's a website. That kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's, and I had all those ideas, you know, for broadcast, and I never got a chance to actually pitch it to them, right?
Yeah.
But then, when they announced the shutdown of Periscope, Dave and I had predicted this, and I wrote an article about it on livestreaming.technology, and I was telling people on, thanks, Emanuela, I was telling people on HAPS that, you know, we think is HAPS shutting down, and they accused me of spamming HAPS for my crappy website and all this stuff, and it was actually, it felt pretty darn good a couple of weeks later when HAPS shut down. Just like I say, see, I told you so.
Yeah.
But we didn't want HAPS to shut down, but it had to shut down. It couldn't possibly have been a success. First of all, $4 million.
Yeah.
That's a slow Tuesday for most business people. $4 million. I'm saying, I would not be. You couldn't interest me in a venture for $4 million. It's not enough money. You know, is to doing all the things that are necessary to run an enterprise like that. $4 million probably kept the lights on 6 months. That's about it.
Yeah.
You know, but do you remember how they were trying to recruit people from Periscope?
I don't remember how they did it.
Well, they were saying, you know, don't lose your audience.
Oh yeah, right.
You remember
Periscope was closing down.
Yeah.
Right.
What was your reaction when you saw that?
I remember at the time I was already kind of moving over to YouTube. So, and I thought, I'm not gonna invest my time in something I'm not really confident about, and I don't think it's gonna last. We had already seen that with Busker, had gone down before, so I was like, no, I'm gonna, and Periscope too. Like the fact that went down, I was like, I am gonna invest my time in a platform that I know is gonna stick around, and YouTube's gonna stream Armageddon. I've always said that if there's one platform that's going to stream Armageddon, it's going to be YouTube. So I'm going to move to YouTube, and that's it. I'm not wasting my time with anything else.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about keeping the community together, not temporarily. You know, yeah, maybe HAPS was a temporary fix, and maybe everybody was going to HAPS, but I knew long term they were not going to go there, and it was not going to exist. So I'm going to go to YouTube. I know it's going to last.
Yeah, was a big motivation for me too, because I remember telling you, man, I'm just tired.
Good morning, Ken.
Hey Ken, how's it going, bro? Fist bump. I mean, I'm tired of trying these. It's like every 6 months, I gotta download a new app, learn how to use it, and tell all my followers, hey, guess what? I'm on XYZ now.
Yeah, no more.
You know, and there's so many. There was Ustream, and there's I can't even remember.
Well, there were even before.
117 in Taiwan. There's tons of them, right?
Yeah.
But the thing that irritated me about Haps was they had the unmitigated gall to put out these ads. You know, don't lose your audience. Sign up for Haps. Periscope is going down. Periscope is going away. As if they were going to save the day. And what did they do? They were another poor steward.
Yeah. Right.
They didn't handle it right, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway, they've gone on to they're doing some weird stuff with what is it? Something Me? I don't even know what they call it now. Real Me? I don't know,
oh yeah, maybe it was Real Me. Yeah.
Yeah, they're involved with Instagram and all this. It's a big circular thing. It's one of those things like follow for follow kind of thing. You know, it's ridiculous. And everybody that's on there is a nobody. But what's that guy's name? Randy, the biggest streamer on Haps. Randy, he was in Dubai. You know who I'm talking about, the guy with the beard. Boy, was he mad because he tried to cash out all those coins from Haps, and they went bankrupt, and they said, they wouldn't let him do it.
That's right. I forgot about the coins.
Yeah, I don't know the whole picture, and I don't want to have to issue a retraction, but I'm just saying that Randy Randy's
Randy Horton, I think.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. With a W. Randy Horton, that's right, exactly.
Yeah, right.
So, you know, anyway, since Haps, though, because you mentioned Busker, you know, I completely forgot about that. It's another one that I tried. And, you know, a lot of them are technologically good, but they don't have a way to make a revenue stream.
Right.
And the coins thing doesn't work. So caffeine came out. I don't know if you guys know caffeine.
Nobody knows caffeine.
Dave was talking to me about caffeine, and this is a joke. Not many people know this, but I used to do shaving live streams on caffeine. I would title them in Chinese, and I would only speak Chinese during the broadcast on most of them.
Yeah.
Remember that? I was talking about and using the Arc 5 shaver from Japan and stuff. It was a lot of fun, man. But caffeine, if you go to caffeine.tv, I think it is, caffeine.tv, they raised millions, and they had affiliations with dozens of sports organizations, and they still went under.
Yeah, right.
You know, and so when I see what happened with caffeine, now I see favorited. Have you guys heard of favorited?
I doubt it. They have.
Now you tried favorited.
I did.
How long were you on it?
A few weeks or so.
Yeah.
It was like a TikTok. It was like the beginning of TikTok. Everybody trying to stay on as like streaming days in a row, trying to get as many followers as possible, and yeah.
They did these things called battles. What was the point of that?
I don't remember. I don't even know. It
was a popularity thing.
People used to just insult each other. It was like they were just criticized. It was awful.
Well, what it was is what I remember
what was the point? I don't remember the point.
I think the users were tapping on.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, you're right.
Which one that they liked or something.
Yeah.
And so the guy said, "Oh, I beat you." I'm like, "Yeah, okay." I give up. It's like, I mean, I'm in a convenience store. Guy pops in, "Hey, let's battle." So one time I turned it on at the Filipino club. My band was playing, right? I turned it on. Guy goes, "Let's battle." I go, "Are you watching the show, you doofus? It's a band. What do you want, the battle of the bands? What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
It's like crazy, right? So I'm sorry, guys. It's so predictable. They have to fail. They can't win because all the people are talking about on there is, it's a greater payout than TikTok. That's what they're looking at to replace TikTok, right? And I can make more money on TikTok, but it's a circular thing. You watch me, I watch you. It doesn't, it doesn't generate anything.
No.
But the history of things, I mean, let me just say this. I mean, towards 2018, right? I mean, I continued using Periscope, but it was so contaminated with just crippled. It was the app was crippled on Android. There was no 360 drone sketch, nothing, and the contamination was, let's just say, undesirable content, like bad. A lot of drug use.
Yeah, it was a little bit out of control at that time for sure.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And it's because they were going to kill it, and they just didn't care.
I wonder. I wonder what. Maybe they it just wasn't a priority anymore. I mean, if it was anybody's priority, they would have got rid of all that. The sex and the whatever that was, all that stuff.
We were saying it went from app of the year to like trash in 2 years.
Yeah,
it's Apple's app of the year, right?
But I mean, their only plan was to integrate it with Twitter, so they knew in the long term, why should I nurture this community and whatever? It's all those categories are going to go away, because that was the problem. Was that, remember what was that? First Scope, was it? Was it the one, the channels had different themes? And they knew all that was going to go the way, so I think they just let it go. Because it was just going to merge with Twitter, so, yeah.
But I don't think anybody had, like, the first iPhone came out in 2007. Then the Galaxy S by Samsung, I got one myself, came out in 2011. But nobody really knew the impact that the mobile phone was going to have. And I was telling Dave today, back when I was more involved in the community and better known in the expat community, if you will, in Taiwan, I had a blog and so forth. I met up with some Intel guys, and I fell in with these guys, and they would invite me to events. And they had this little thing in Taipei. They were just sitting around and talking outdoors, at like on the third floor terrace or something of some hotel, and they had a device called a MID, called the mobile internet device, and it was basically, it looked like a Nintendo Switch, about that size, maybe a little bit bigger, kind of handles on the side of it, and a bigger battery. And it's the first time I actually saw mobile web browsing, and this is before the the Galaxy S phone came out.
Hi, Margot. Long time no see. How you doing?
So it's kind of amazing that when you think about it, that we didn't have mobile live streaming until 2015.
Yeah. Before that, it was Ustream. People were streaming on Ustream.
Yep.
Right?
But I was live streaming in 1988.
I remember you mentioned that.
See You See Me, yeah. See You See Me. It was a Cornell project, and then had taken off, and then became a commercial product. And it operated on the concept of a special server called a reflector, where whatever was sent to it would be reflected out to all the people connected to the reflector.
Okay.
And you could select up to 8 streams at once to watch. It didn't prioritize audio, so audio usually didn't work that well. But I broadcast, I'm sorry, I said 88, didn't I? I meant to say 98.
Yeah, 80. I was going to say, wow, 80.
98. Yeah, I'm an idiot. In 1998, I broadcast. What people tell me is the second live stream from a recording studio of a recording session. And
I think you mentioned that before in your streams, yeah.
And one of the coolest things that can ever happen in a recording artist's life is when you get an email from a fan that says something like, I went driving down the road today and I heard your song on the radio, and it was the song that I saw you guys recording in the studio, and that was cool.
Yeah.
That was really cool. So yeah, there's a lot of experience there and so forth, but we're trying to figure out, like, where are things going? And here's the thing. I've been saying this for a long time, that Periscope left a big void that nobody has filled.
Yeah.
And YouTube is great, but YouTube can be a black hole. you know, and it's not optimized for, don't get me wrong, I love it and I use it like everybody else.
Yeah.
But I use it primarily for what you said. This is something, for those of you who are joining later, that Dave said, he was talking about the fact that YouTube is never going to go anywhere. YouTube's not going to go bankrupt. They're not going to run out of money. Okay, they're owned by Google. Yeah, I like how you said, if anybody's going to stream Armageddon, it's going to be them. Right. So you're on a platform, but they do censor and they do make you self-censor, and there's drawbacks, you know.
Yeah,
you can't say whatever you want. You can't do whatever you want.
No.
And doing music on it is going to be it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
However, I've often said though that if a YouTube, let's say something as robust as YouTube and monetarily guaranteed, that was at least as technologically good as Periscope, I think it could be a commercial success. However, it would have to incorporate the things that were missing that Catch provided on the back end.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So I think TikTok fully replaced Periscope.
A lot of people say that. Yeah.
I don't agree with that because there's no IRL.
Actually, you know, how do you mean?
Well, I mean, it's mostly people dancing and complaining about their partners and stuff like that, you know. I mean, when's the last time you saw somebody, well, first of all, this is why I wrote the song Portrait World. It's like looking through a keyhole because it's portrait. So try showing a landscape.
Yeah.
That's the problem. I understand what you're saying.
Let's ask them. Do you guys, those of you, Margot, you said that TikTok replaced Periscope. Do you notice a lot of streams like Periscope, people doing IRL, like in real life, on the scene? I know TikTok does a lot of, talking heads at home talking. But do a lot of people do the, it's full? Yeah, it is. That's what I've heard. I don't use it at all, but I've heard that a lot of people...
No, it's all live. No, we're not talking about live broadcaster. We're not talking about somebody that's holding the camera this way and a narcissistic thing. We're talking about, is anybody doing like geisha spotting, going around showing a beach, showing lands?
There's a lot.
About.
You know what? When was the last time you used TikTok?
Never.
Yeah, well, that's why probably you don't know what's going on.
because it's only portrait.
But even still, that's where they're going. That's where.
Well, I understand that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that it's been replaced by Periscope. It's been usurped. Periscope's been usurped. I understand what you're saying. It hasn't been. It's not a direct replacement. It's a substitute.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Right. But I have heard from people recently. I didn't say that to you since I've seen you. But I heard a lot of people say that they're making money on TikTok.
Yeah.
And they're streaming IRL, and a lot of people are watching.
Yeah.
And there's a huge audience. And I would like to try to see how many people actually come in and watch. It's something I've only heard, and I have not tried, but I've heard that that's the case. It's quite popular for that. So. Yeah.
We do know for a fact though that it has contributed to the.
Yes, he streams on YouTube. MJ streams on YouTube. The Real Taiwan.
Yep. So I guess it depends on. Well, anyway. The thing is, though, that community integration isn't there. What I was talking about. Like being able to use it in the community for like selling things and promoting things. So.
Halil, more food reviews, Dave. Easy at home. Yeah. Halil, okay, huge for that there. Watch his game. Okay, I'll have to look that up. Yeah, I know that.
Is that a person? Is that a
I'm
username?
guessing. Yeah, Halil.
Halil.
Yeah.
Okay.
Halil is a streamer from Japan. I've seen TikToks, the shorts, like the short videos they make, but I've never seen. I don't watch I can't say I watch live streams, so yeah.
I just can't watch I'm sorry, I can't watch portrait.
Yeah, I don't mind now so much, especially like looking at Instagram. You know, I look at Instagram quite a bit. I find that easy to digest more. I don't know why, but so I'm a little bit more used to the portrait mode.
I'm used to it. I just think it's a content limiting format, and I don't care for the content that it limits to, which is usually just me. Watch what I'm doing, kind of thing. I'm not into showing people how rich I am or
Yeah.
I mean, and I like showing landscapes and things that we're doing. Of course, I'm also doing side projects with map freaks and some other things that we're starting to get into. Oh, so it's for Turkish or German.
Turkish. Okay.
Okay. European anyway. Okay. So
I'll have to look it up.
No, I wrote it down. I'll check it out. Yeah, because we're doing. Rob Kilo and I are doing all this research, on the Japanese airfields and the artifacts left, from World War II in Taiwan, and we're filming that. Of course, we're filming it in, widescreen.
Yeah.
So that's not going to be live, but
Yeah.
I actually tried to contact Broadcast about buying them.
You mean
the
back
software.
in the day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And wasn't able to. I even tried to contact them again last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wanted to see if I could, get a number out of them. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think otherwise though too, the other factor is this. Can't read my writing.
No.
It's politics.
Politics. Okay.
Yeah. See, the problem is now is there's so much division in the world, right? And it's basically like you're on this side or on that side, and so that's why one of the reasons I'm completely politically neutral, and the other reasons I don't care. But yeah, because you start coming out and like one of the recording artists that I had been producing, I did a couple of records for him over the last several years, and he's been going on Facebook and making all these political comments about a particular president.
Okay.
And I cautioned him against doing that. I said, you need to stop doing that. And he's like, why? And I go, well, because you're alienating half your audience right away. So, Halil 55.
Okay, I'll check it out, Margot. Thank you.
It's 55 with an underscore. Okay. Yeah.
Halil.
H-E-L-I-L. Yeah.
Halil?
H-A-L-I-L 55 underscore. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, because we heard people on. Well, here's the thing. Okay, we were on Favorited, and they kept saying, "Oh, we're going to leave TikTok and come over here and do this." And everything that I saw on Favorited was just garbage. I was like, okay,
it was pretty bad.
That's what you're doing on TikTok. I'm not missing anything.
It was bad.
It was bad. Yeah, it was bad. I logged out. I left a note on my profile. I'm not coming back, and that's it. But I would be surprised if they last to the end of the year. But this one too. You want to talk about this one?
Heckle.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Heckle. You guys try Heckle because that was an attempt to replace Periscope, and it's iOS only. Last time I checked.
I think it's Android now too.
Yeah, it might be.
I think it is Android now too.
See, after all these years of running Android, in 2014, I finally got my first iPhone just to see what all the hype is. I'm ready to go back. But
really?
Android, yeah. Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. Dave, I'm sorry, but look, this is the Google keyboard, right? Keyboard. There's no number line. You can
yeah.
You can press and hold. But on an Android phone, there are all alternative characters like,
Oh, I see.
Parentheses, quotation marks, all this stuff like this, and you just, I don't know. So there's just nothing. It's the implementation. I don't know how you guys can live with this. But there's anyway. But the point being though that
Broadcast would have been great if it could have stayed around.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons that I'm really sorry that I couldn't go through with our business meeting, but they canceled it. You know, I mean, I was all set to do it. They canceled it. I think they were going to hit me up for money, is what I think.
I'm sure they were, yeah.
Yep. I wasn't going to give them any, but I had too many at that time. I had way too many other investments going on. But anyway, I should have bought them. I bet I could have got them for. I bet I could have bought Broadcast when they went under like a month later. I bet I could have bought them out for like $150,000.
Yeah, but it's hard to contact them when they go on.
Yeah. Well, I had an email for one of the programmers, you know, the engineers actually, because a lot of guys don't know this, but they would send me a message, hey, you got time to do a test? Yeah, I did a lot of their testing for them on the Asian endpoints, which is pretty cool. I'm trying to keep it running, but Heckle, man. So now I got an iPhone, and you know, Noel Richard, he visits Taiwan. He's on Heckle. We're walking around, and I get this iPhone, and I'm like, okay, I'll try Heckle. Have you guys tried Heckle?
I have, yeah.
What do you think? Do you use it now?
No, I don't use it at all. No, I don't.
Do you mind if I ask you why you don't use it?
I mean, there's nobody I know on there. It's really small community, so I only stick to YouTube because
I think a lot of people do actually know you. You might not know their username, but when I went on there, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, hey, how you doing? I remember from Periscope." I was very surprised actually. I got a number of followers right away, but the drama and the bickering, oh my gosh, people were using titles for broadcasts to argue with. They would make a point in the title, do a 1 minute, like they're covering the camera, do a 1 minute dark Heckle scope with like, you know, Johnny can go kiss my butt or whatever, like this, whatever. Just I was like,
they would communicate from the
with the titles.
They communicate with titles, yeah. That's how they would text each other.
What is going on with these people? It's like, man, finally I just got so sick of it. I mean, because here's the thing, right? It notifies you, and you're in church, and bing, it pops up, you know, and it's like, what? I'm just saying. Yeah, I mean, these interruptions during the day about things that I just didn't want to see. It wasn't involved in, and it wasn't. I mean, if these people were actually streaming something, and some of the streams were very good, and technologically it wasn't bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the chat was quick. It seemed like it was a very good attempt, and it seemed like it was technologically very close to Periscope, you know, level. But my gosh.
Yeah, I didn't stick around. I don't know. I
didn't either.
Just YouTube was my commitment was with YouTube, so.
I should download Heckle again. Give it a try. Who knows?
Yeah, I think there's a lot I do have it downloaded. I think there's a lot fewer people than
might be.
The last time you used it.
But do you remember when we used to we would do a broadcast on YouTube or on Periscope and then go to Haps, like a secondary thing?
Haps?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I would sometimes.
Yeah.
I would sometimes. Or I'd do the opposite. I'd go on Haps first and I'd say,
hey,
I'm going here. Yeah, guys, come to my broadcast.
I think that's probably a smarter way of doing it.
Yeah.
You know? So we don't want to keep Dave out all night long because it's getting kind of late, but I just want to have this kind of a discussion that Dave and I have had over the years, you know, out loud and on record, you know, and interested in you guys' comments too, and especially for the replay viewers, please feel free to, you know, let us know in the comments. We're on Dave's channel tonight. But so where do you think live streaming is going?
I didn't prepare an answer for this, so let me think. Well, you know, you gave me that one file. It was I think it was like a synopsis of live stream. Do you remember that? it was like a market report on live streaming. Do you remember that? It was a PDF file.
I don't. Oh, really?
Do you remember that?
No, it must have been a number of years ago.
No, it wasn't that long ago. It was maybe a few months ago. But well, I just think that now is.
I'm gonna have to look and see what I gave you.
I think it's going to go back to the roots of like where people are streaming all day. Like the biggest streamers, I think, are people that stream all the time. I think that's what it is. And like Margot said, a lot of people are going to TikTok. TikTok already has that critical mass of users, and they're moving up to what's it called? Portrait mode. Yeah, that's where it's at. It's not about. I mean, it's not about the visuals anymore. You know, we always said do it in landscape mode like this, but it's about interacting with the people, and a lot of the big ones now are guys, the nuisance streamers too. That's another thing. So people are just waiting for the next thing to happen.
Yeah.
What's the next thing going to happen?
Yeah.
And a lot of the big ones are guys that are a bit of a pain in the butt. So that's become a big trend, unfortunately.
Yeah.
TikTok is banned in certain countries. Yeah, right.
I think the thing that's happening with live streaming is the same thing that's happening with music. People who have no business doing it have access to it because they're not singers or not players, but because of AI and everything else, they can make a song. And I think that the standard, the talents. Hey, listen, I'm 69, man. I had my first record contract offer when I was 24, and I worked with CBS Records and all these big players and stuff. I know what I'm talking about. I'm just saying that the quality of entertainment and entertainers is not what it used to be. And remember when people would say to us, "Oh, I can never live stream." They were afraid to live stream. I got nothing to show that would be.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's another thing that's changed now too. Is
they'll show
everybody's doing it, or everybody's
show anything.
doing it. Everybody
no
will
shame.
Do it.
Yeah. This is what I'm saying. This is what
you
I'm
can
saying.
use Hacked app. What is Hacked? I don't even know that one. Is that a new live streaming app? Communication with new friends over the world, or two to stream for money as a job. Yeah, like the selling products, right? Yeah, that's a big one. What is Hacked? I don't know that.
I don't either.
That sounds like a hacker's app too, the way it's spelled. With the 3 there.
Yeah. How much want to bet it's portrait?
Oh, I'm sure it is. Yeah.
I see people in Universal Studios, and they're filming like this.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like, what are you doing? Oh, yeah. Oh, now I can see it.
Oh, I see. They use Hacked to access TikTok.
I see. Okay.
In banned countries. Oh, that's interesting.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I saw a guy on Periscope years ago on a
You watch
beach
TikTok
in
from the
Hawaii.
UK? Oh, Margot's in Russia.
Oh, I see.
So I think that they probably banned TikTok there. So she's using it for like a VPN from the UK, I guess. Huh.
Wow.
That's interesting. That's cool.
Margot, добрый день. Очень приятно. So the thing is, right, is it's just people used to say, "Oh, I could never. I've got nothing in my neighborhood. I can live stream.
Right.
It's no good." And and of course, I was a national talk show host, 35, 40 years ago, and it's easy for me, but and you've got a natural knack for it too. But nowadays, people, it's almost like they don't know that they should be ashamed of some of the things that they're doing because they're just putting it out there.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite is true. Like the chains are off and they're showing
That's
stuff
true.
that they
That's
shouldn't.
true. Yeah. China blocked it for us for safety reasons. Well, isn't that nice of China?
Yeah. Thinking
Blocked it
of
for
you guys,
Russians.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing. It's the friendship that knows no limits or something.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay. So anyway, so I guess we should just wrap this up.
Yeah,
I don't know if we
go.
came to any conclusion, but we just talked about a bunch of stuff that, in history and things and I would like to think that if an app came back that had the technical ability, the capability that Periscope did, was as robust and easy to use, and would last like YouTube, and was a standalone app, so you didn't have stuff all mixed in with, like edited videos and things. I don't know. I would like to think that it would be successful, but I just think the world's changed too much, and politics have changed too much, and the average person's attention span is down to nothing.
Yeah, and I think that social media in general has become more polarized, and that's who gets the attention, and that's who people notice more. If you're not, then people just pass over you. They just pass over you. So, and that scares a lot of people away. So I think that's another thing, is the people who stay are the ones who are attracted to that chaos and that conflict, and the people who are scared away, just not using it anymore. Do you know what I mean? So that's the kind of crowd that's using social media now, is that they love that conflict, or they're contributing to it, Hi, Paula, good morning. Hey, how's it going?
How are you, Paula? Good to see you.
Which I watch TikTok on my... Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. So that's another thing, is in the beginning it was everybody. The silent majority was using it. But I think now the silent majority has been scared away from social media. They just don't want to hear this crap anymore. They don't want to hear it. And I think that's not good. That's, it's really not very good.
What it's been...
And why social media is so unhealthy.
The quality people have been replaced by the non-quality people.
Just my opinion. I don't know. So.
Yeah, I think you're right. So what we got to do, Dave? We got to start a conflict. We got to beat each other or something on the live stream, and then
yeah, exactly.
Get 1 million views or something like that. So we have to start a feud. Okay, so what if? Okay, listen, don't tell anybody. But what if Dave and I start a feud and we make it look like it's real, and we'll trash each other on Instagram?
Let's do a wrestling match.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Steel cage.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, yeah. It'll be.
Thank you, Coco.
What is it? What will it be?
Okay. Yeah. Take care. Good night. Have a good.
Good night.
Have a good Sunday.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for hanging with us. Yeah. You got to meet Dave. Yeah. You definitely got to meet Dave to come here. He's a really good tour. He definitely. Oh man. He actually met us twice, and we met him in Guion, and I got a picture I'm going to publish, by the way, on my community. I took a picture of David in the corner where he always starts his geisha spotting live streams. You know what I'm talking about, in Guion. There's always a corner he starts in. Took a picture of him with the Fuji. I'm gonna post that on my community. That'd be cool.
Okay, I want to see that. Australia is so perfect, really. Okay, yeah, I can imagine. It is. I was there, and it was really beautiful. So, switch back to England.
During the winter, that's funny.
During the winter, yeah. Match you where you are.
Yeah. Wow.
So.
But I want to thank Dave because he's been such a great host. My family and I were going to go back to Taiwan on Wednesday, and I got a lot of work scheduled. I'm rebuilding my studio, but I've decided I'm going to take this challenge. DistroKid, my distribution company for recordings, has a summer challenge to record a cover tune.
Okay.
And they'll take care of the licensing and all that stuff, so I'm going to do it.
Sounds good.
I already got the song I'm going to do, and it's going to be. I think it's going to be a good version of it. We'll see.
The Real Taiwan. If you haven't followed MJ, The Real Taiwan on YouTube.
I'm a terrible promoter. Thanks. Yeah, just like it sounds. THEREA. Just Taiwan. There's no spaces.
Please give him a follow.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah,
you
thanks.
too, Ken.
Thanks, Ken.
Thank you.
Say hi to your lovely bride for us, will you? Congratulations again.
And your cute dog. Hello, Cosmic Rose. Good morning. Long time no see.
Wow. That's a name I haven't seen for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's your cute new dog. the picture's so clear.
That's
I don't know
good.
if that's a good thing.
It is good. Are you running in 1080 or 720?
I'm in 1080. Yeah, I
Oh,
should have
wow.
thought about that.
I always run in 720.
We need makeup at 1080. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
I needed makeup at 50, so now I'm way past that. So,
Yeah.
but Dave, he met us here in this part of Umeda, in Osaka, called Umeda, and took us around and shows us amazing places to eat. We're having a blast and drinking and eating. And then he met us in Gion, and we got, and I recorded a good portion of this on my Pocket 3. We got a guided tour of Gion, where all the geisha are, from him, from this guy, from Dave. That was cool, man. And walking around and seeing all those different places. But we were out too late because usually you're a lot earlier. I don't think people realize how early you're out when you're looking for the geisha. You're not out at 11 o'clock at night.
5:45. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we were coming back from the restaurant, and a geisha was walking down the street, and she saw my camera hanging over my neck, and saw me. It was slow motion. It was like this. My camera's going up, and she's going like this. Yeah, it was hilarious. Should have gave her my hat. You could just,
Okay. Thank you, Cosmic Rose.
That's hilarious. So,
Good
anyway,
to see you.
Dave, I want to thank you, man. Thanks for having me on your show.
It's good to see you guys again.
Yeah,
Good to
yeah.
see you. So.
And Dave's been to my home in Taiwan, and we really appreciate having such a good friend. And we met through Periscope. Ken, Coco, all these folks, J-Boy, that we all know. Some we met in person, some we haven't. It doesn't matter, but we know them all from Periscope, and that's what's missing.
Yeah. It was that's another thing. A lot of, I'm going to say this too, a lot of people are trying to recreate that time, and maybe I'm a pessimist by saying, I don't know, but there were so many other factors that made it work that you can't even describe. It was lightning in a bottle, people have said, and you won't recreate that time again.
Yeah.
It was what it was, and we should appreciate that time, but we can reflect on it. But I don't think it's going to happen again. It was a special time. So, yeah, and that's it. We want to. Everybody wants that again, but I really don't think it will. I want to. I really do. But
yeah,
there were so many other circumstances that made it work. Not just the platform, not just the technology, not just the people. It was the timing. It was all that. It was so many other things. So
people's lives have changed so much. Look at guys like John Ho. He used to have a lot of discretionary time and traveling things, and he's got kids. He's built a couple of buildings. He's got actually a complex in Thailand.
Thank you.
He's not available to do as much as he was doing before.
And I think Instagram suits his life more, right? A guy like that with
Maybe
family
so,
and
yeah.
kids. Yes, that's right, Paula. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that it was a lot friendlier time on social media where people were sharing simpler things. I mean, back in those days, and nowadays it's just so heated. It's just so, let's prove them wrong. Let's prove them. Oh boy. So it's a different environment.
Yep. Yeah. Maybe some of the older ones, like me, my life hasn't changed that much.
Yeah.
I'm so old, 10 years doesn't do anything. It's like,
Yeah.
Either way. Actually, now I think the next 10 years are going to be considerably different. We'll have to see. But yeah, so, yep. There are a couple folks going like her, yep, that are still good. Yeah. I fully admit that I kind of let my community I let them down because I got busy doing other things. I am a lot busier, and I'm doing studio work. I'm doing live shows and things that I wasn't doing back and then, and I really do miss that. I miss Win-Win's place, the old window. Dave went there, guys. If you go back far enough on my channel, Dave visited us in Taiwan in 2019 and sat in front of that famous window that all those other guys that sat in front. Must have been 10 or 12 or more live streamers that sat in that window.
Yeah,
between
that's
Jevons,
right,
John Ho, and John Sabot, and Yuka and Casper. And just name them all, right? JL and everybody. But yeah, I don't know if you could ever get that back. Part of the thing was I had that home base, right? And I don't have the home base anymore. That place, Win-Win's, that was my home base.
That was a big part of your scene.
Moved next door, and I
the Atari 800. What are you referring to? Are you referring to your online experience, Atari 800? Maybe, I'm not sure. Atari 800.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not sure what that one is referring to.
That's a while back.
Yeah.
But yeah. But here's the thing. My new studio, I'm intending to do a lot more live streaming from the studios. I want to do some technical stuff and how-tos and mixing and mastering, that kind of stuff, right? And also some recorded content. But I don't see any reason why I can't broadcast like on my personal channel. Just you got a nice backdrop and proper lighting and all that stuff. So, and with Win-Win's, it wasn't that it was a studio, but it was kind of almost like a movie set. It was fixed. Fixed, and it was very reliable. And I always had a seat there. And I had the backing of the owner, Win-Win. And remember people were sending postcards?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
She still has those postcards, man. This meant a lot to her. She would show them to people, and I could just see the pride. Hey, I'm known around the world through live streaming. See, that's what I think is missing. And it's really up to the broadcaster, because I always try, when I work with other people, I try to help them make money and do things or improve somehow. Could be any number of ways, and for Win-Win to let me sit in front of her place a couple nights a week, and order food, show it on the live stream, and drink rum and talk about just whatever crazy stuff, right? Talking about Starbuck Island and Bigfoot and all kinds of things, right?
Yeah, it was great.
It was a lot of fun, man.
Yeah.
But she, in return, got the fame, and that meant a lot to her.
Yeah.
And I remember people would sometimes, Taiwan people would come by and say, "Oh, hey, that's the guy. He's live streaming tonight." Yeah, I saw him last time. And people would sometimes come up to me.
That.
Yeah, they say, "Yeah, I saw you on." I was walking in the street one time, and a guy went up to me and goes, "Taiwan Live TV, right?" And I was like, "Oh wow, that's cool." Yeah. So anyway, those days are gone, but we don't know what's going to happen. But here's the thing: I think you and I are just going to keep on doing what we're doing. Maybe slow down a little bit. We're not doing as often as we used to. No. But we're still going to do it. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll go the way that Atari 800. But no, we'll keep on doing it. But yeah, it's just that, I hate to say it, what did B.B. King say? The thrill's gone? Kind of, a little bit.
The thrill is gone.
Hey, why don't you do this, guys? I'm going to put this to the audience. Help us get motivated again. Oh,
I'm still motivated. Just the time for me is, and doing something refreshing that I'm interested in.
Well, that's what I mean about ideas for doing something different.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
To refresh it. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We had a whole bunch of ideas. What a lot of people don't realize is that when Periscope actually went under, a lot of us behind the scenes were making plans to do some international Pass the Cast. Remember that?
Yeah.
We had a plan. Dave is going to be Dave and I and one other person we had in Europe, because we're going to feature some of the architecture that was in common between those countries. And we're also going to do a show on food.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that.
We had that all set up, all planned out. There's no reason we can't do that on YouTube. It's just a little bit harder to coordinate.
Yeah, right.
Harder to get people to say from one to the other. It probably could be done. So. Okay.
All right. Yeah, we got to jet. I got to go to work tomorrow. So thank you everybody for coming in. Great for earthquakes. Yes, I am. I seem to be around. I'm in Japan right now, so don't jinx me here. All right. But thank you, everybody, for coming in. Great to see everybody again. I'm going to try and broadcast more, although the heat is on now in the summer. So maybe I'll do some food broadcasts at home. So, but great to have MJ here.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
And maybe next time we'll do it from Taiwan. Yeah, hopefully. So
that'd be cool.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you in the next broadcast. Emanuela, Margot, thanks so much for the input. Paula, thank you. And who else is here? Cosmic Rose, Ken, and whoever else. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Coco's still here. She says take care.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.